What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a two on the side, a little bit of scissors on the top, and a tape on the neck. It's going to keep it real simple, straight to the point. It's a very basic haircut, something that you will see in the shop on a day-to-day basis. So hopefully this video is very informative. And just remember that I am doing a Powermat giveaway at 2K. We are at almost at 1,500. So share the channel, share the video, share the content. Let's get this channel up to 2K. I appreciate everybody who's subscribed to the channel already. Smash that like button. You like the videos, and it just gets more exposure on YouTube, and we get more information out to people who are trying to learn how to cut hair, who are doing quarantine cuts, etc. Just free game for everybody. So share the content, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get to the video.
Look, I just flipped the switch.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna be doing a comb over type haircut, just keeping it real simple, nothing too crazy on the side. We're gonna be doing a two on the side, taper the neck, and then trim some off the top, a good bit off the top. But right now I'm just saturating the hair with water, making it easy to maneuver, getting everything brushed to the side, comb to the side that we're gonna cut on. And I'm just gonna start off with some shear work right off the jump. So what I'm doing here is I'm making a traveling guideline right down the center. I'm just getting the bit of hair that I want towards the middle of the head, and I'm gonna make a cut probably about 2-3 inches that we're taking off the top, and I'm cutting above the fingers, and I'm raising that hair straight up right off the scalp. You want to make sure that you're stretching out the hair, especially with curly hair. And I'm just going to take this guideline and travel it from the back of the head to the front of the head, and I'm going to go ahead and take off the same amount all the way towards the front of the head. Now once we make this initial traveling guideline at the center of the head, I'm going to go ahead and go to the side. So I'm going to go to the left side. I'm going to take a little bit of hair from the center and drag it out towards the left side of the head and use that as a guideline, and you'll see the hairs that are protruding farther than the guideline, and you can trim those off. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side, the right side of the head. We're going to go ahead and make sure that we get that all evenly cut. And then once we do that, I'm going to go ahead and cross check my cuts from the front of the scalp to the back. So basically we're just, making sure that we got the hair cut straight across on the left side, the center, and the right side, those guidelines. In the cross-checking portion, we're going to take all of our hair that we cut together, work our way from the front to the back, and just make sure that we clip off any ends of the hair that aren't cut, that we missed, the little stragglers that we may have not got, and we're just going to go ahead and get those all cut. As you can see here, it's not a lot of hair that we missed by cross-checking. So once we get that done, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the side of the hair, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure we get that hair nice and saturated. I'm combing the hair slightly back because that's how it's going to lay once we get the sides faded, and this is how I want to make sure that I'm fading into something that is already cut. So I'm basically making it easier for myself to see what I'm cutting into by knocking out the shear work first instead of last. So that'll help me to gauge how high I need to fade or what needs to be blended. So from that, we're gonna go ahead and take our number 2 guard, and we're gonna go ahead and knock all this out halfway up the head with our number 2, and just make sure that we get even cuts. This video is sped up a little bit, so I am making sure that I go across every bit of hair. I'm making sure that I take long strokes to make sure that we get everything evenly cut, and that's the goal right there. So once we do that, I'm going to go ahead and open the lever, and we're going to go ahead and start raising that guideline a little bit more. So make sure that you're constantly combing the hair in the direction that it's going to lay once the hair is fully cut, once it's styled and all that. So after we do that, number 2 open, I'm going to go ahead and go and do a little bit of clip over comb. Have the comb slightly lifted off the head, and I'm just pulling, and whatever stragglers stick out is what I'm cutting. I have my lever open on my clipper, that way I don't take off too much hair. And once we do that, I have the 2 guard back on, and what I'm doing right now is I have the bottom of the comb is at the very lowest point of the number 2, and then I just hold it 90 degrees straight up on the side of the scalp, and we're just riding that 2 guard up the comb and just getting that blended in. Now, once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and take my thinning shears and just do a little bit more blending on the side. Any dark spots I see, I'm just going to go ahead and take those thinning shears and just start blending whatever little hairs, whatever little dark spots that I see. As you can see here, we're not, taking a lot of chunks off the hair with, regular shears. These are the thinning shears that are just meant to just thin out certain areas of the hair that we're cutting. And those are the ones with the stagger tooth on the shears. Now, I do see a little bit more that needs to be cut off with the shears, so we're going to go ahead and make sure we get that all squared away. As you can see, I'm combing the hair and over directing it backwards, well, towards the back. This is going to be the hair that's combed over and kind of, directed towards the back once he styles it. This is the way it's going to be styled. So that's the way I'm going to be cutting it. That way we don't have anything laying awkwardly once the haircut is finished. And right here, you want to be very careful around the cowlick area and just make sure that you're directing the hair the way it's going to lay once everything is styled. And after we do that, we're going to go ahead and go to the opposite side where the hair is parted. We're going to go ahead and do our number 2 halfway up the scalp, and then from there open the lever slightly and just make sure we have that 2.5 basically, and then just keep blending, following the same steps you did on the right side, you're going to do on the left side. And as you can see here, I'm just using the comb as a barrier, and then I just I use it as a barrier with that 2 guard, and then from there we're going to go ahead and do the clip over comb, lever open, like I did on the opposite side. So like I said, not a very difficult haircut, not something too, crazy to comprehend and understand. You just want to make sure that you're taking the same time that you do with, your regular fades. Well, not the same time, but the same effort that you put into regular fades, you want to do on your basic haircuts as well. And make sure that you're putting in every bit of detail, every bit of, your passion into every haircut that you do, no matter how simple or easy or, not time consuming that it may be. That just gives you a little bit more time to put more detail into these type of haircuts. But as you can see here, the fade's coming along nicely, just doing a little bit of detail work with my shear over comb, just making sure we get all those little stragglers that may be sticking out. And once I do this shear over comb, I go ahead and get those thinning shears and I start using those to just get a little bit of dark spots that I still see and thin those out and blend them in a little bit more, so that way we can have a nice and blurry fade all the way around. Everything's blended. As you can see there, the haircut is taking shape. And right now we're gonna go ahead and get to the nape tape. Basically, we're gonna make a sad face on the back. As you can see, that circular shape that we have for our guideline, that's going to be, what I call a sad face taper. So the purpose of this is to make sure that we leave the edges on the right and the left side of the neck dark. That way we can have something to edge up and just make sure that we have a nice and crispy lineup on the neck. And right here we have the lever open with the wall cordless seniors, and we're making our first panel of hair for us to fade out. So basically, you're going to have your lever open, and then once you make a panel of hair, close the lever, slightly open it, and start fading up. And as you can see here, I'm flipping my clipper over because on that side, that particular portion of the hair grows upwards for some reason. So you always want to make sure that you're going against the grain when you're fading up. On the right side of his head, you can see that the hair flows and it kind of grows down towards the right. And on the left side of the head, the hair kind of grows down towards the left. And on the center of the head, it grows straight down. So you want to make sure that you're angling your blade and going against the grain every time as you're fading up, so that way you can have a nice evenly blended cut with no hairs just straying away and sticking out. Now we have the half guard lever open, and we're just doing the same thing we did before with the lever open without the guard, just repeating the same steps as we go up with a different guard each time. And with this process, you'll make sure and put out blurry fades time after time. Your work is going to be consistent when you continually follow, the same steps, get your reps in, and continually make sure that you're following the same pattern. And I won't say practice makes perfect, but practice will continually make you better, make your haircuts look better. And as you can see there, the lever is all the way open now, and we've faded that entire panel of hair out. Now, like we did with no guard lever open, then we did it with the half guard lever open. Now we're gonna do it with the 1 guard lever open and make another panel of hair to fade into. So we're gonna work this all the way up to the 1.5 guard open into the 2, which is what's on the side of the head, is that 2 guard. So just make sure you stay attacking it like you have been attacking all your haircuts. Just continually put out the same effort, have the same passion for every cut, no matter how easy it is. I know it's very monotonous sometimes when we go into the shop and we're doing haircut after haircut after haircut after haircut, and sometimes, you know, some people get bored, you know, cutting hair every day, day in and day out, you know, basic haircuts. So just try to, you know, see the glass half full in your career and in your day-to-day, you know, operations. Just make sure that you keep that passion alive for your craft and for your work, and you'll always put out good work, because if you love what you do, you're gonna have some type of pride behind your work. So just make sure you keep that in the back of your head. And now we have that 1.5 guard on there, and I'm just playing with the lever and just attacking these dark spots that you see. I'm brushing the hair and going against the grain. I'm using those first 2-3 corners of the blade and just trying to get in those little dips in the head right there around the occipital bone, and just making sure I attack every bit of the haircut with some passion, to make sure that we get this all blended out nice and neat. Now I do take the 2 guard close and I just touch up this area around the sideburn to make sure that it's all cut evenly. That way we have no hairs like laying around the ears and curling up around that area. That way we can have a crispy edge up when we knock this out right here. So you want to make sure that you're maintaining some uniformity and some symmetry in your haircut. So make sure you're, you know, applying reference points to your haircuts. See where the eyebrow placement is at, as opposed to where the C-cup's at, or, you know, see where the bottom of your sideburn is squared off to a point on the ear, and just use those reference points to make sure that you have symmetry in your haircut. So if you do it on one side, make sure you're doing it on the opposite side in the same area, and just take your time. I feel like the edge up is one of those things that, you know, completely ties the haircut together, completely, you know, just makes the haircut, it's the icing on top of the cake, so to speak. But after I use the trimmer, I always go over my work with a razor or the shaver and make sure that that area is nice and bald. We want to make sure that we're giving our clients a, you know, a lasting haircut, something that, you know, can last a little bit of time. And you want to make sure you're not pushing your clients back too much either, because a lot of times that those areas will grow back fast and it will cast a shadow that, you know, you could really see. So, you know, I know there's some clients that you may have to push back a little more than others, but, you know, try to keep it as natural as possible. That way you can make the haircut last longer. I've always heard that you could tell a good haircut on how it grows back. So if it grows back, you know, evenly, and it's still, the fade's still staying intact, you know, that's how you can tell a good haircut, is how the hair grows back. So I always keep that in the back of my mind, and I always try to, you know, make sure I try to keep things as natural as possible. But, you know, like I said, sometimes there is no, you know, no way that you can't push somebody back. So, you know, just keep that on your head. Use that down the line while you're in the shop. And like I said, just take pride in every bit of work you do. You know, you can see me here using the shears, just detailing that front part of the edge up. You know, the haircut is, you know, already done, but I'm still, you know, trying to find a little bit of areas that I could fix up and tweak a little bit. That's something you want to do that'll separate you from, you know, other barbers. But that's just a haircut, nothing too crazy. Nape taper, 2 on the side, scissors on the top. I appreciate you for checking out this video. If you liked the video, smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 2K so I can give this Powermat away. Stay tuned for more videos to come. Thank you for watching. God bless.